Hi, welcome to China Focus. I'm Karen Chang, filling in for Shali Zhang. Now, this week there was a brief moment of excitement when everybody thought this year would be the year the Chinese regime ends its notorious labor camp system. That's because on Monday, state-run CCTV published an announcement on its Weibo account that this would be the case. They were citing Meng Jianzhu, the head of the Political and Legislative Affairs Committee, the Chinese regime security apparatus. But soon that optimism turned into doubt because CCTV's announcement was pulled and state-run Xinhua news agency came out to say that the system would only be reformed. Now, is reform really what the labor camp system needs? To talk about this with me today is He He. Now, to start off with, there's a big difference between reform, ending the system, and abolishing it altogether. Why was there such a big turnaround with what the state-run media was saying?
Actually, when People's Daily Weibo, when CCTV Weibo announced the news, it used the word "stop using," not really end or abolishing. After the announcement, people get excited. So many people used abolish instead of stop using. So I think the top leadership haven't decided how to announce it. And once people has too high expectation, they don't want people to think this will be the issue. So they just retreat back like one step, become reform. That way, the people, the regime has more space to turn around.
More room to move, basically.
Yeah.
So going back in history a little bit, let's talk about the labor camp system. Now, it was first started in the 1950s, but the system back then is very different to what they have right now.
In 1957, actually, it's the State Council regulation. It's not really law, but approved by the National Congress. So you can consider it's a law. But actually, the current situation follow the rule is the Ministry of Public Security report to the State Council, and the State Council issued as the State Council regulation too. But it didn't approved by anybody, not National Congress. So it's still not a law. At that time in 1950s, it's against those political opponents. And after that, for a long time, it's against rightists and then different people. But in the past 10 or 20 years, it used against the different religious belief system like Falun Gong practitioners, and also the petitioners and the other people has different opinion with the Chinese regime. Because this is a very handy tool. You don't need any legal process to put people away for 4 years.
So actually, I wanted to bring up another thing. So you mentioned right now it doesn't go through the legal process. Now, back in the 1950s when it was first set up, it was actually not called laojiao. Currently, it was called laogai. And that was actually like a prison sentence. And and people actually had to go through the legal procedure to be put there. But now people still kind of refer to the current system as laogai, but it's incorrect?
No. In 1957, when the State Council established the system, it's also called laojiao. It's re-education through labor. This term has never changed. But there's another system called laogai. Laogai actually is a jail sentence. At that time, there's no jail. So people sentenced, then they put them in the farm, like a far away remote area to do the farm work. So sometimes they call laogai. Actually, it's equal to jail sentence. And this laogai hasn't been used for 30 years. So actually now it's two systems. One is re-education through labor, and we call the labor camp. And another one is jail sentence.
So basically, recently in China, there have been a lot of uproar against the labor camp system. There were a couple of high-profile cases. One was against this woman called Tang Hui, who was trying to appeal the light sentence she saw of men who kidnapped and raped her daughter. Yeah. There was another case of Ren Jianyu, who basically was sent to labor camp because of he posted a few things on Weibo. Now, a lot of people that were unhappy about the system are saying that it's because it doesn't go through the legal system. Is the labor camp system kind of a reflection of how rule of law exists or doesn't exist in China?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons they try to change the image of this system. That's why made the new announcement, because this reflects the real nature of Chinese legal system. This is just an extreme case, but the whole legal system for the past 13 years has been totally destroyed. From the prosecutor to the court sentence and to the establish the case by the police, and until this court defense by the lawyers. So everything was totally destroyed. This is just one example in the forced labor system, just one example.
So, and also overseas, there was attention on the labor camp system because of this letter a US woman discovered inside a box of Halloween decorations. And now the person who wrote the letter claimed to be from the Masanjia labor camp in Liaoning province. And it kind of talked about the condition of slave labor that goes on in Chinese labor camps. Is slave labor or forced labor a big component of the labor camp system?
Yeah, every the labor camp has the system to force people to make the product, mostly export, and some of them still inside China, the product. Actually, they estimated like several billion Chinese yuan, this size of the economy produced by the Chinese labor camps. And at least 1/10 or 2/10 of the products was exported to other countries, including the United States. Actually, main country export the forced labor product is the United States. So this is a big business in China.
So the calls for reforming the labor camp system, basically it's not new and it's been going on for a little while. So you were saying the labor camp system kind of has this big part to play in the Chinese economy. Is that part of the reason why the system hasn't been able to be changed or reformed?
This is one of the reasons, because so many people benefit from economy, financially benefit from the system. But the major reason cannot be changed because it's a party's tool. It's a handy tool to prosecute the political dissidents and the people with the conscience or different belief, like Falun Gong practitioners. And in 2005, the People's Congress tried to replace this forced labor system with another system, but didn't get support from the Ministry of Public Security. It's very strange, the legislative body will listen to the police.
Kind of the wrong way around,
right? It's totally the wrong way around, but that's what happened in China. The legal system will listen to, the People's Congress will listen to the party. As we can see this time, abandon or stop using or reform this re-education through labor system was not announced by the National People's Congress, but by the party.
By the Political and Legislative Affairs Committee.
Yeah, it's a part of the party.
What would be the consequence, do you think, if they did majorly overhaul the system? Like if they made big changes to the system, what would be the consequences that would really stop the Chinese regime from changing it?
I think the major reason is, especially the people with different belief system, like Falun Gong practitioners or the house church members, and they didn't commit any crime. So you cannot go through the legal system to prosecute such a large population people. So the easy way is use the actual legal system, like labor camp. And then you can put like 10,000 people, away without trial, without legal process.
So these calls, the most recent report about the labor camp system rehaul, basically comes only a couple of months after Xi Jinping has taken over as the new party chief. Do you think that's significant that at this particular time that a major announcement about changing the judiciary system of the Chinese regime has come about?
I think the relevant issue is two cases you mentioned, the high-profile case and this year's Masanjia's forced labor product with the letter inside, and that damage Xi Jinping's image and his new leadership's image. They try to establish a new face in the world and to Chinese people. So this is an easy way because they consider a long time. They have a replacement, and they consider actually the Ministry of Public Security made a plan for 2 years to reform this system. Actually, so they want to announce it first, and I think that this is more like to change their image, a bad image, instead of really do something to change the system.
I see, like kind of pouring water over the fire that started. Yeah. So you say that they have been thinking about making the changes. A lot of the observers in foreign media that I've read is that there's a concern that even though they want to change the system, or they say they're going to, they may just replace it with something else entirely. Now, so what do you think are the specific things that need to be done for there to really be change to the labor camp system?
I think the easiest way is release all the prisoners of conscience.
If they do that, don't they have to have like a series of steps to redress those people? Is it as simple as just releasing them?
No, you have to first, those people, you didn't actually try them, so you don't need to redress them. Huh. You just release them, and then you make the national compensation to them, because you lock them up and torture them, you compensation. And then during the process, lots of people committed crime. So you need to put those people in legal process.
So you mean the people in charge of the labor camp system?
Charge the labor camp and whoever put them away, you didn't follow the law. So you need to do this first instead of make a promise to reform the system. But currently, just according to Chinese constitution and the China laws, you have many things you can do. There are many things you can do.
So I guess it's really just a matter of what the new leadership is willing to do and are actually capable of doing in the coming time. Well, we're actually out of time today, and thank you very much for discussing this with us. For more on this and other related topics in China, visit our website at ntd.tv. Thanks for watching.